Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we have the second Zippo that we bought from Ted Ballard at the National Lighter Museum. This one a Y2K souvenir. It also differs from the 5th anniversary model that we had the other day in that it is brushed chrome rather than high polish. Still has the sticker on the back, so we're going to get to see here. This is a 1999 Zippo, so it is a year newer than the 5th anniversary 1998 Zippo that we looked at before, that the flint had degraded so badly on, and the sticker was also, well, I'm not saying it was terrible, but it was worse than this one. Put it that way. I'm giving away a little bit of what I already know here, but I'll try not to do any more of that as we move forward. So I was just trying to be very deliberate and not have to get it extended to where maybe then I end up pulling the paper in two. And it looks like it really didn't even leave any debris or residue, I should say, on the lid. There's most of it left on the bottom of the case, or the bottom case, I should say, not like the base of the case, just the bottom of the lighter. But we're going to get that cleaned up. But just taking a quick inspection of the insert, you can see there that the file wheel has tension on it. So that gave me great hope that the flint would still be intact and not degraded. Maybe very hard to believe that this lighter sitting in the same condition as the other lighter for all those years, that could happen, but we'll see. Rather than soaking this lighter, and I don't know exactly the process that gets those painted letters, or if those letters are screen printed or silk screened, I'm not sure what the proper terms are, but it makes me a little bit nervous dipping them in alcohol. So if I don't have to submerge the whole thing and possibly damage the paint, then I won't. So I just used the organic cotton and squirted the 91% isopropyl alcohol onto the length of cotton, and then used it to sort of soak in and then wipe off the residue and excess paper that stayed behind with the hardened, sort of like sap, or I don't know, it's a very brittle, comes off pretty good, pretty easily with alcohol. I don't know if it would be as easy with lighter fluid like you see people suggesting. And it's going to take me several times here. I'm going to set it down here in a minute and let it dry. And then we'll take another look at the insert. And if you remember how flint dusty the insert was the other day from the other lighter, then you'll know why I'm so pleased to see this insert to be in such good condition. There's no dust or debris or buildup to deal with or clean up off the lighter. There's still tension on the wheel, which leads me to believe that the flint is still intact and loose in there, like it should be, rather than degraded and stopping up the flint tube. 9 times out of 10, rather than gumming up the file wheel, when the flint degrades and obstructs the tube, the part that reaches up to the file wheel that is exposed to air usually turns to dust. It's usually not present. So if you have tension on your file wheel, especially if it will move, then usually your flint's probably going to be good. Or maybe it doesn't have flint in it. But that's typically not going to indicate degraded flint. We removed the felt pad to minimize contamination just in case. And look at that. Just like you would want it to look, and now the file wheel is moving. So this flint has presumably been in that lighter since 1999. It would be 23 years or so. Was in the same case with the other lighter that was degraded so badly, and yet flint still looks in perfect condition. Not a pit, not a nothing. And look at that wick also. Brand new from 1999, and that wick is reaching all the way down to the bottom. When I re-wick one, I typically put it in about the middle of the lighter, but there's nothing wrong with that. It'd be perfectly good with that wick where it's at in this one compared to up at the top of the lighter like they are in the ones that you get brand new now. So I'll go ahead and try to take an educated guess about which side of that was on the outside, but I don't think that it really looked any dirtier than the inside. This one didn't have a lot of dust or the degraded flint that the other one did. So rather than leave that flint in there, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the little Ziploc bag with the paper orange warning sticker that came off of this lighter, and I will preserve those with the box. I've always been surprised how tight every single one of these flint spring screws is coming from Zippo, but I saw a video the other day of how they're made and that it's a machine that drives those screws down, and that didn't surprise me at all. I'm sure it's set to a specific torque. That is marked K of XV or 1999. And you can see there after we let that dry that there was still a good amount of residue right up there at the top, along the top line of the case. It still felt just a little tacky. So I got the alcohol back out, and I wouldn't exactly describe it as scrubbing. It's just more following the grooves of that brush chrome and trying to let the alcohol soak in and diminish or dilute the adhesive, and then hopefully get it wiped off without having any vestigial adhesive remaining. Strikes a little different look than its companion. This one with the black lettering and the brush chrome, where the 5th anniversary lighter had high polish with 2 colors of printing on it. Like I said earlier, I don't know if that's paint or some sort of silk screen or what the process is that applied the embellishments to these lighters. But I am very glad to add this pair of, I guess you could probably call them vintage now. They're from the last century. Pair of National Lighter Museum Zippo windproof lighters. Until next time.